Alright, so it nearly knocks you off, and alright, that's not too bad. Anyway, yeah, this whole bit here, it keeps bugging out here. What's going on? Laura, are you okay? Can you hear that, guys? That is not what it sounds like. That's just me pressing A, trying to jump up. Laura, what are you doing? You can press B to make a climb down. Do I have to get right to the edge of the pole, perhaps? Oh my god. Come on, let me get... There we go. Maybe it's because you have to be right at the edge of the pole. The idea here... I should probably talk about the game, shouldn't I? The idea here is that you need to climb up this big middle thing, and as you go, you need to spin these central sections. My first time playing through this game really pissed me off because it took a really long time to figure out, you know, those blocks we put in right at the bottom. I didn't talk about it as I did it, I just kind of did it. Those I didn't realise you could pick up on the bottom, so I spent ages first time playing through just genuinely trying to climb up without it like being activated and spinning around. And that involved making weird kind of jumps that look like they should be possible, but they're not. And every time you do it, you die. And the way that the checkpoint system works at this specific area of the game is that if you die there before putting those blocks in, you're going to have to fight that group of, like... what was that? There was something to grab, Lara. It means you have to fight those, like, Draugrs every single time. And it is... Wait, how many lights have we turned on? Do I have to keep climbing up? When was the last time you gave me a checkpoint? These lights, by the way... Oh, yeah, there's a secret there. Well, if we're at the very top, I'd assume... we're activated, is that? No, maybe we're not. Hold on. Yeah, so you keep... my first time playing through, you have to keep... No, that must be on. That's in the right area there. There you go. Cool. So, I spent ages on that. Finally figured out that you could activate it and turn it on to make it start spinning around. And then I climbed all the way to the top, and I thought just spinning these middle sections was to move ledges into the right areas so that you could then climb higher up the tower. And so I got all the way to the top without realising... without realising that you could activate them at all, or anything would happen from moving them in a certain position. So then I was like, oh god, well, what do I do here? So then I climbed all the way back down the tower, and then I realised at the bottom, I believe, oh right, okay, look, these lights are coming on. So then you have to climb all the way back up, and then all the way back down, and it just took me like an hour before I was even through the first friggin' door. Which, I don't know, maybe big puzzles like that should feel a bit more... It felt rewarding when I finished it, sure, but it was just, I don't know, a little bit frustrating to keep going. But I've made a decision. Don't worry, guys. This week, I'm not going to bitch about the mechanics at all, because I annoyed myself on the editing last week. I was like, what are you talking about? Just play the game. So that's what I'm going to do. And this would be kind of like the level 1 thing. Getting inside once again. And the only things, literally, no one's going to come and interrupt us here. I know that there's a sky above us, so in theory people could get in without having like Thor's powers. And I suppose we did leave that door open up at the top. But no one's going to come and bother us. Literally, it's just us and Lara and all the time in the world to do what we need to. This bottom one here as well. I like that the things start glowing once you place them in. I do love this whole like blue aura that starts flowing around everywhere. That's really cool. Yeah, this bottom one also needs to be moved to the right position. I think you're supposed to be matching the symbols up, but to me, well, no, that is pretty reasonable, yeah. So you're just supposed to match the symbols up. Get the 4 lights. They don't even attempt to explain where the light's coming from. At least in like coastal Thailand, it had like Bogavati. It had the hands with the mirrors or something. Here, it's just... you're playing a game about fucking magic. Enjoy it. So, that's what we've got here. Valhalla, journal entry unlocked. Now that these lights are here, for whatever reason, that now means that we can kind of activate this and open it, which we couldn't do before. And we come into a big chamber that, for me, was... this room we're about to go in was one of the only things I remembered about Underworld for the longest time, until I kind of started thinking about it a bit more. And it's maybe because I spent so long in here looking for the relic, because the relic's in this next room. Anyway, journal. The Valkyrie... oh, there we go! Oh, wait, hold on. We got... Wait. Valhalla? We didn't read this either, did we? Valhalla, Hall of the Slain. The Valkyries escorted the souls of warriors who died gloriously to this great hall of Odin. Each day they would slaughter each other in battle scrimmages to prepare for the final battle of Ragnarok, only to be bested, only to be restored and repeat the exercise again the next day. This site represents the clearest connection between the myth, as we understand it, and the reality of these animated corpses put here to protect the artifact the Norse came to call Mjolnir. You know what I'm curious about? How the developers went about making the story, because they make quite a lot of it fit in, so I wonder whether they were like, right, we're going to write this story about this crazy water stuff called Eta, and we're going to write it about these artifacts and the hammer and that, or... did, before they they thought, right, we want to continue on this story. They obviously had this idea about the portals and that established already from legend. Did they then think, right, what are we going to base it on, and go off and learn about loads of different cultures and decide that they would build everything off of all this stuff? Or what way round did they do it, I wonder? Because if it was the other way around, it's quite clever the amount of ways they managed to kind of shoehorn it in. Valgrind. Valgrind, the sacred gate. Protecting Valhalla is a great gate of size and cunning, such that few know how it could be opened. Now I see that it's both the application of understanding and the strength of Thor bestowed by his artifacts. Okay, and Valkyries. Valkyries, meaning choosers of the slain, were the minor deities who chose which fallen warriors were worthy enough to be escorted to Valhalla. Often depicted as women with winged helmed or as riding horses, a more literal truth comes from the fact that the Old Norse word for wolf translates as a Valkyrie horse. It's believed that the Valkyries and their mounts are metaphors for ravens and wolves to descend upon the dead after a battle and choose among them. It's kind of an interesting idea. It doesn't tie into what the game is talking about, I suppose, but kind of cool. So that's what they are. That's cool. See, I learned stuff with playing this. Whenever I learn something about the real world while I'm playing like a video game, it always makes me think of that. Not Zero Punctuation. Who are the guys that do like the speeches over on The Escapist? And he like just started off doing it as at university and kind of got really big off of it. And it's like these animated guys talking. That they do like little discussions. Crap, I can't remember who they are. In any case, those people, they did an episode at one point where he was talking about how he thinks wikis should be incorporated into games so that people learn stuff. And he came up with a really good example, and that's in Final Fantasy VII. You kind of learn about... If you run these guys over, by the way, I think they just reform. While if you stamp on them as Lara... Oh no, maybe they do blow up. Maybe he was just somehow missing or something. Yeah, in Final Fantasy VII, this guy mentioned... like Sephiroth, and that's the name of one of the villains in it, or like the bad guy in it. But Sephiroth actually means something in the real world, and it's kind of interesting. It's a good example because actually when you get really into the game, you then start reading and learning what these things are named after. Final Fantasy is quite good at that because a lot of the really cool weapons and stuff are just literally named after weapons in the real world, and not always things you'd expect. So like there's an Excalibur in most Final Fantasy games, and you might appreciate what Excalibur that name is kind of referring to out in the real world. But there's loads. Did I just hear thunder? It'd be very weird if I did. But there's loads in Final Fantasy that teach you all kinds of stuff about all kinds of old like swords and armor and all kinds of things. So anyway, he gave that example, and now whenever I learn something in a game, God, I made that a long point, didn't I? That is exactly what I always think so. So this is quite a good game for that, actually. But the thing is, I know I'll forget all this stuff again. I must have learnt it before a long time ago, but I will have forgotten it at this point. Anyway, this big room, to explain what the balls we're doing. Shit, I messed that up, didn't I? This throw grenade. And hope it gets all three of them. 3 for 1, that'd be nice. Oh, yes! They just stood around like morons. Brilliant. Perfect. Do I have to stamp them? I think I do. Oh, no. No, I don't have to stamp any of them. I learned something really kind of cool, actually. Y is so good in this game, actually. It's so good. It's like a perfect control thing. They stand up and you just press Y and then they just die. And it works for most enemies. The big spiders it's not so good against. But Jesus. Just that is so good. I was having such an easy time on my test run through just now. Just hitting Y constantly to kill everything. Anyway, this room. Full of secrets all over the place. Little secrets. I'm not going to bother finding them all. They're just in pots laying around. But the relic is also in this room. I drove off on the left at the start, and that was to show you guys that there was kind of a door there. You might have seen it. It was like a weird looking wall. It just looked like a big wall, but it was kind of a different texture to the rest of them. It was just apparently a dead end. But that actually in the end is a door. Which we'll see here. So to continue through the level, by the way, all you have to do is go up there. You just walk through that and you're fine. You can wall jump over on the right. When I first played this game though, on the first time through, I didn't realise you could wall jump up there. So I ended up getting stuck in here for ages. I knew about this door here that would open by jumping on this like this. And I knew that there's another pole, which I'll show you guys in a second. So there's that there. And then there's another pole laying around on the floor around here with an empty hole on the other side, as you're about to see. And I knew that all this stuff was here and something was going on in this room. Didn't know how you could get up there, so I thought just to progress through the level you had to solve whatever puzzle was going on here. As such, I managed to get this relic in the end on my first time playing through the game, despite the fact it is quite hard to do. I can't really complain about the relic on this level like I've been complaining about the other ones, because this one... even though it still looks like it could have just been tacked on, they had some thought in it. So what you want to do is you might get distracted by that pole over there, but if you want the relic, you need to come over to this pole here, and you need to be close enough to let Lara put that in like that. It will come down, and when you land, it will make your controller vibrate like hell, and it will make the screen shake like hell. As soon as it hits the bottom, there's a door ages away in here that will begin to open. And what you want to do is, as soon as you feel that vibration, just get off the pole and go immediately, because even if you wait hanging around on that pole, the time has already begun and you might run out of time. So just get off as soon as you possibly can, and I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about with that in a moment. And then what you want to do is drive through. It's a little bit of a maze around here, but once you get used to the way you got to go, it's like left, right, right, left, right, or whatever. And then you want to go through here. Here's the door. Ah, I made it first time. And you will get through the door, which now just closed behind us, as you can see. You don't get that much time. You really don't, so be careful of that. But that's how you get the relic on this level. Oh man, I actually made that look so smooth and easy. Here we go, another grenade. Don't come near me. There we go. I also realised you can shoot grenades. If you like stick a grenade to someone, you can actually shoot it if you get lucky, and it will just blow the thing up immediately, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's the relic. You've got to get behind this door off in the distance. Again, when I was talking when we first started playing about how on the Xbox, which is what I originally played this on, everything seemed much darker. Like this room I'm currently in on the Xbox was really dark, and the door itself was really dark. So I don't know whether that's supposed to play into how easy it is to get the relic, or whether you actually know. There's no cutscene or anything that indicates to you that this door's here, so it's kind of up to you to see it, realise, oh, that looks kind of like a door, and then later put 2 and 2 together. So it's kind of a cool puzzle. I like this relic, and not only is it a bit of a puzzle to figure out how to do it, but there's also a bit of skill in the execution. You need to learn your way, how to get around here. You need to know where you're supposed to be going left, where you're supposed to be going right, and you need to master the turns. This mechanic where you can press A like that and skid around corners, this is really the only time in the game it comes in, it's actually necessary, if you ask me. But it's fun, and the handling here, because of the rooms, actually feels a little bit better than it does the other times you use this motorbike. Did I just go the wrong way in the game? I think I did just go the wrong way. Yeah, I always go the wrong way here at the end. You're supposed to take a right. Wait, what?